point, because when he's just sitting there, you can just jump as fast as you can. You get generally about 7 jumps in before it unfreezes, with only about 300 bonus coming off the clock. He's not doing that. He's not doing it right now, so can't show you that. But anyway, right there, he's gonna freeze, just to show you. So you get to where you can recognize when that's gonna happen. That's a bunch of points there. And then you can approach from the right side because the springs are so easy on this level. So that's that one. On level 2 and on level 3, you can generally leech for points. By the time you get to level 4 and above, though, the timer is going so quickly and the springs come out so quickly that it's really hard to be profitable leeching the fireball. So really nobody does it. And in fact, you often actually lose points by trying it on the later stages of the game. So here again, you saw the pattern of grabbing the prize first. They still all spawn on the right side. I'm not entirely happy with this setup here, because when they're in the very top there, it's actually hard to get them. And now I got a third one coming into play. So for the third one, I'm noticing that it's a freezer. Sometimes that becomes helpful to know. So the key here is to get them all on the left side. And looks like this one's not going. Oh, it did cooperate. Because again, the timer is very slow here. So in this case, because that bottom one has a potential of coming up and getting in the way, I skip that rivet just in case. And do the leeching here. So I'll skip the rest of that. You get the idea. And then I come down and get this one at the end. I don't know if anyone's still listening here. Yeah. Alright, so now you're into the level 3 barrels, which a lot of people don't like because of the wild barrels. But if once you understand what they're doing, they start off here at level 3 wild barrels right away. And at the beginning of level 3, the barrels themselves are only about 50% steerable. So this is another situation where it helps to be able to wait a little bit. Oh boy, that was a really bad luck situation. I'm just gonna play it out here because I'm gonna be shutting down soon. But it helps to be able to wait again here, which hardly anyone does because they feel like it's dangerous as far as the wild barrels. But if you can wait, then when it switches internally to level 4, the barrels become maximum steerable. It's about 75% steerable. So let's see if I waited long enough, see if they steer. Not as well as I would have hoped, so still a little bit tricky with how they're steering. So that bottom hammer can get a little tricky. The fireball also increases in speed for each of these internal levels that I'm talking about. So on level 3 you have kind of a medium speed fireball. You have not really that great steerability over the barrels, at least in the beginning. And you have the nasty wild barrel. So a lot of people really hate this screen and don't really press it to the max. But that's the deal there. Let's see, what else have I not talked about? Going into the Pie Factory next here. So if on the Pie Factory, the first one I almost always point press because the timer is slower, so you can beat the clock easier on this particular one. You're only going to get about 7,600 points for taking the free pass, which is waiting on the left for all the fireballs to spawn to the left side, and then climbing up the right side. We'll see here. I already got 1,100. I got 1,900. 2,300, 2,800 points there. I am in this situation, I'm getting all 3 prizes instead of 2, so that's 3,600 gain, right? And now I'm finishing up at 4,900. Normally you finish about 6,100, but since I had, so I'm losing 1,200 on the bonus and picking up about 3,600 in point pressing points. So that was a very profitable screen there. Much more. Sounds like I beat the free pass score by about 2,400 points. Which, if you can gain 2,400 points on any screen, that's an enormous amount of points. And typically, you're looking to gain a few hundred points on each screen, you know. So you really have to do the necessary things. I mean, you can't just give up 2,400 points because you're being lazy and have any expect to like challenge the world record, for example. So that's why I always point press level 3 Pie Factory, even if the free pass is wide open. So getting here now, it's more important to try and time this prize. I didn't time it well there, so you had the spawn on the left side. I was a little late jumping across. Fortunately, he just got right out of the way. But this is a pretty good setup, having them all there on the bottom. Try and get a few of them with the hammer here. If I can get like 3 of them, then it'll be better. Looks like I'm only going to get 2 though. Oh, yeah, I knew that was going to be close. And this can get tricky here because I got the 2 freezers over here. I think the one right above me is a freezer. If he goes up that middle ladder and freezes under the hammer, it's a huge pain in the butt. This one's coming down. You get to know there is some predictability to the freezers, how they move. Alright, so again, I'm going to leave that one alone and try and get it to come up into the right corner here. If there's only one Firefox, you're never trapped. So right now, this is actually very safe. I can always just, whatever way he comes to try and get me, I can just escape the other way. So a lot of times I'll play with it and try and get it to come back down now. If you're below the level of the Firefox, it has the ability to go down ladders. If you're standing on or above his level, then he'll never climb down. That's why you see how they're all like up at the top now. So, a lot of details to know about the game. The freezers have some personality, like when they freeze, like if they come down a ladder and freeze, then they're always going to climb right back up the ladder and freeze again. So you can take advantage of that knowledge. If they climb to the top of a ladder and freeze, they're always going to start out by running to the left. If they freeze though, like in the middle of a platform, then they're always going to start out by running to the right, and then they're going to climb the first available ladder, whether it's climbing up or climbing down. We're just going to go ahead and climb that ladder no matter what, 100% of the time. So it's a lot of ways you can observe those things and see now how that wild barrel came down nice and easy. So it's switched internally to level 5 wild barrels, which is the 3rd type of wild barrel. Which basically what it does is it's always cutting the distance between you and its position by 1/2. So it sort of a lot of times kind of has a lazy, like dropping down kind of look to it. And the idea behind that is it'll get in your way. Like if you're trying to run one way, it's trying to position itself like in between where you're trying to run. But they're extremely predictable, and once you play the game a while, they're some of the easiest wild barrels you'll encounter. So from here on out, you don't have to worry too much about it. Now on level 4 Pie Factory, you have the full 8,000 timer, and it's at maximum speeds. It's not as profitable. It's point press this one, but I still like to do it usually anyway, because you got slow fireballs, and you only have 4 fireballs in the beginning. But right now, the free pass is wide open, and there were no pies to smash. So I make the decision now to just take the free pass. You're getting about 83 to 8,400 points for a free pass. And in that particular scenario, it would have been tough to beat that by grabbing the hammer because there were no pies to smash. So you're just wasting clock at that point if you're not getting many smashes. So it's a lot of decision making like that on the fly. So now the idea here is, this was a bad decision, but I got away with it. If you can avoid climbing when that fireball is over there until you get barrels stacked up. See, there's 9 barrels on the screen now, so that was a pretty good setup for the hammer. So this one, see how that one froze on the bottom? It's coming up, 100% of the time, and then it's going to freeze again. So that was predictable. It's always the second and the fourth fireballs that are freezers. The other ones are never freezers. You can see on the barrel screen, for example, that was the second one to come out of the oil can, and that one froze. Now we're into level 5 wild barrels again. So see how now they die down to my left. I position myself further to the right now for level 5 wild barrels, and they drop down to the left side when they're thrown. Wait for the fireball to come up and get it. In this situation now I'm looking to continue grouping after the hammer runs out, unless the fireballs climb, which one just did. So now there's not enough time really to safely group, so I'll just go ahead and finish the screen. Fast elevators. There is a difference between level 4 and level 5 though. That fireball actually is a little slower on this level 4 than it will be on level 5. So right here, the way that I just did that would not have worked on level 5. The fireball is slow enough so that I could do it. And then I have kind of my own way for dealing with the springs, which has to do with positioning rather than timing. Which almost nobody does it that way, but it's alright. See how I went and I was able to grab the prize and come back? This level 4 rivet screen is the last time that I'll be able to do that and get away with it without one spawning on the wrong side. So I went ahead and grabbed it. And this is a pretty good setup. I have a chance to get all 4 of these. With only one up top, that's a pretty good scenario now. Should be able to get to that other hammer pretty easily. If that one will go up the left side, it would be even better. And it did. So now I'm looking to maximize the smash here because I only have one Firefox right now to deal with. So if I can get 4 out of this. Nope, not going to get that one, but sometimes, you go for it there. And then the taunting here, like I was saying, it's not really that profitable, so it's not a big deal. Later in the game, it's more important to get more smashes and not worry as much about the taunting, because the smashes are worth, every time you smash one that has random point value, it's worth 525 points basically in the long term. That includes blue barrels and pies and fireballs. So when you're trying to think about math and long-term averages and stuff, you consider those to be worth 525 points because of the probabilities of each different point value. So by getting 3 smashes that time, that's worth 1,575 points. I probably gave up let's say I didn't do that and just, oh, this is not good. Let's say I didn't do that and just smash the one fireball that was there and put it over to the left